guys, Kiel here, you're watching Film Critic. Now, tomorrow Star Wars is coming out in theaters around the world. And yay, we're all excited, right? Of course you are. I'm excited. I got my tickets, hopefully you do too. But now, before of course I am going to watch Star Wars Episode 7, I marathoned to the original Star Wars saga, the prequels and the original trilogy. And because it was the first time I really looked at episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in that order through the Star Wars saga, I noticed something. What I noticed is that George Lucas sucks as a director, a film director. He's not really good at it anyway. What he is good at is coming up with amazing stories, characters and worlds to put in movies. He's very creative in that way to come up with interesting plot lines and characters you really care about in a fantastical world, which of course the evidence is Star Wars and Indiana Jones. But purely as a director, he sucks. And of course this is the evidence with the prequels. Because the prequels, like episode 1, The Phantom Menace, episode 2, Attack of the Clones, and episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, all three of them were of course directed by George Lucas. And something you see in those things is the actors don't really get a lot of input or material to work with. Some of the actors are very bland. The way it's technically shot, you know, how the scene is presented, how the story is progressing. Very much boring parts. Characters are weird and how they're shown on screen. So yeah, you know, we all have issues with the prequels. There are good parts in it, there are bad parts in it, but everyone, you know, they have a love-hate relationship with the prequels. So besides that, let's just look at the original trilogy. Now, Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, was also directed by George Lucas. Of course, this is his most well-achieved directing I can see in all of the movies, because episode 4 is considered a good film, mostly because the story is tight, the characters are beloved, but still some of it was kind of you know, if you see the actors, they were kind of also a little bit stiff on these, but you can argue, well, most of the actors in the movie were of course just, you know, beginner actors like Mark Hamill and stuff. But still, episode 4 is a good movie, but if you, after you've watched episode 4, you immediately put in the Blu-ray of The Empire Strikes Back, and you then just look at the technical difference between episode 4 and episode 5, and I'm not meaning special effects, I'm meaning how the scene is presented, how the shot, the camera work is used to capture a scene and an actor, how the actors are being driven and how they're you know, how a director says to an actor, you have to do it like this or that, you know, guides them into the story. In that way, technically, Empire is up there, man. The difference is so big. Purely in the as a director, the difference is so big between 4 and then 5. So, of course, The Empire Strikes Back was directed by someone else. The screenplay also, George Lucas had help. And you know, it just shows. Lucas as a producer, as a storyteller, awesome. He needs to be creative. But as a director, oh my god. Now that I watched 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 and 6, the difference is so big. That's why, of course, everyone loves Empire that much, because yes, it's an amazing film, but just technically how the movie progresses, how the scenes are put into film, it's superior to all the stuff George Lucas did in the previous episodes. Of course, Jedi, the same thing, not directed by Lucas, but by someone else. And this of course also applies to Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones were all directed by Steven Spielberg. Of course, the character, the story, all George Lucas, wonderful, but the direction by someone else. It kind of blew my mind. Now that I marathoned through the Star Wars saga, it really stood out that was the case, and I was like, whoa! Because, you know, everyone has their issues with the prequels, but still, Episode 4, A New Hope, is considered a good movie. It is a good movie, but now that I really looked to those movies like again and again, and now you just see that Empire and Jedi are technically superior movies to the prequels and to Episode 4. So of course, yay, you're all hoping for Episode 7. Of course, directed by J.J. Abrams this time. Not really a George Lucas story, but still his characters, his universe. So yeah, let's all hope for the best. I'm super excited for Episode 7. You probably are too. Man, let's just hope for the best. I have tickets to see the movie, but in the weekend coming up, so not like tomorrow when it's gonna get released on the 16th of December. So I have to stay clear away from the internet so no spoilers get to me. I have to go dark on everything internet and social media, because I do not want this movie spoiled for me at all. I just want to go to the movie theater clear-headed with the previous movies in my back head. I know what's the history of Star Wars is. Just going in there clear-headed, not spoil anything, just enjoy The Force Awakens. I'm ready. You probably are too. So, all I can say now is enjoy and keep watching.